Welcome back. Welcome back. The cousins are here riding solo today, but we are here to talk about my Cleveland Cavaliers. If you're a Cavs fan, thank you for being here. I assume if you're watching this video, you probably are. But we're here to talk about our free agency. Personally, I love all the moves. I still want one more move to happen. We'll get into it later on. But let's just get Finn's take on the moves. If you haven't, I'll read through them quickly. If you haven't,
why don't you just list them all off for me, make sure I'm not missing anything.
All right, we signed Ty Jerome to a 2-year deal. We re-signed Caris
How
LeVert.
much? Do you have money?
No, not the money. But I know them. I don't know Ty Jerome's deal. I can't imagine it's a ton.
Yeah.
But Caris is 2 for 36. George Niang is 3 for 28. I want to say or 9.
Signing. I think that's 20. A bummy signing.
And Max Strus 4 for 64.
Love Strus for you.
But what do you think of those moves and just how it would fit with the roster in general? Honestly.
I like Strus for you. I like spreading the floor. I think you need consistent shooting. That's what you were lacking last year, a two-way wing. That's why you were on the Royce prowl. Couldn't get your mitts on him, though. I'm imagining that's what your final move is, something along those lines, like a last resort two-way or a big. But
yeah, I mean, for me, I need a bigger big.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
No, it does. You got 2 shrimp bigs in there, 2 toothpick arm bigs.
Wait till Evan's been putting on some muscles, dude.
But I like the moves a lot. I think Strus is a phenomenal pickup. I don't like Niang. I don't like Niang.
Well, that's just because you don't like him. But he's like
that's perfect. What I'm saying. Yeah, he's a good fit in theory for you guys. Space the floor, stick him in the corner. He'll make more threes than Chetty. But which good riddance. See ya, pal.
Yeah, we did get rid of Jetty Osman and Lamar Stevens, if you guys didn't know.
Matt was absolutely heartbroken about Lamar Stevens.
All good, but I think for the Cavs, I think these were really important moves. They weren't the biggest flashy moves you'll see around the league. We're not the Rockets. We don't need to sign a Fred VanVleet for $40 million. We don't need to do that. We have a core. And now it's just about finding serviceable role players that can take some of the load off of Garland and Mitchell. And I think in the playoffs, we kind of got stuck where it was just Donovan or Garland, go, go, go. And there was no option to really kick out, and they were just hard hedging every time. Or hard helping, and we Isaac Okoro just couldn't consistently make threes, or Evan Mobley and Jared Allen on the floor together. It ruins the spacing a little bit, but obviously I think they do more positive than negative when they're on the court together, so that's why I'm fine with it. But I think Niang has shot over 40% for the last 5 years. That's a guy that you're gonna like to play a slightly better Kevin Love.
He starts getting pushed around in the playoffs in the first round when you get bounced. 4 things. There's 4 things to judge an offseason on. How they drafted, if they kept a good group together, what their moves were, and vibes. If I'm being brutally honest with you, the Cavs passed all 4 with flying colors.
Okay, that's good.
I loved what they did in the draft. Imani Bates is my guy. We're going to get to that in a minute.
Oh, I love that. An update. Halftime, he's 2-for-8.
What is it?
We're recording this at the halftime between the Cavs and Nets game, and he is 2-for-8.
Starting 1 for 6. Who would get hung up on that?
Huh?
You're the kind of guy who would get hung up on that.
Yeah, I can't do.
We're going to get into this in a minute. But offseason, maintaining if you have a good core. They didn't get rid of anybody too egregious. Lamar Stevens is as close as it gets to that, which isn't that big of a deal.
No, I mean, he was good. I liked him, but
you liked them, and a lot of Cavs fans probably liked him. But it's a guy that you're okay with getting rid of if you got to get rid of somebody.
Yeah.
Offseason moves. Good filled roles as opposed to disrupting the core. Draft again. I liked where you went. Vibes. Seems like you guys are all getting along.
Yeah. Well, we did sign Imani to a 2-way contract. So for you and Slim saying he's going to play 25 minutes a night, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't recall saying he was going to play 25 minutes a night.
Okay, but just saying, you said he was going to get significant PT, which is not going to be the case.
At post All-Star break, I think that's extremely realistic.
I don't personally think he's going to get a lot of playing time. I'm not.
You got to do your research.
What do you mean do my research? You're basing this off high school highlights.
Bad in college. Not highlights, dude. National Gatorade Player of the Year. Hold your horses. Are you seriously enjoying this fire content without liking, commenting, and subscribing? We're glad you're here at This or That NBA podcast. We want you to stick around. It's easiest to do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. It's free. It takes 1 second, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Okay, that's high school, dude. It's 4 years ago.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is.
Did we do this?
That's a huge difference.
Did we do this on the pod or did we do this on the phone? Or we were talking about the it factor? I forget.
We might have been recording, but I don't think it was posted or anything.
It factor. Some guys can put the ball in the red circle, period. Imani Bates is a guy I would kill to have Imani Bates on the Nets.
I hope he's really good. I think he has the potential to be really good, but I also think that he's going to have to adapt because every team he's ever been on, he's been the guy, and he'll be ninth man in the rotation, at best, in my opinion.
We'll clip the hell out of that.
Go ahead.
I have a couple Cavaliers questions that I prepared for you.
Okay, but I think just on Imani, just to wrap up his kind of thing, unless you're asking me a question on him, but for Imani, I feel like he's not going to be the guy where he has to shoot 15 times a game, 20 times a game anymore, where, in my opinion, and just based on the numbers, horrible efficiency. But if he can be a guy that can play kind of a Michael Porter Jr. role in 2 years, I'd love the pick. But I'm saying for right now, what were we going to get at 49? I think we drafted him. What are we going to get there that's really going to make an impact now? Not a lot of guys. And so I can't be mad at the pick. It's a late second round pick. I like that you took a chance on some guy. I mean, he's not some guy, but I think it's a fine move. Like, I'm not mad at it. I just think a lot of people are overestimating what he's going to do for us. And there's a reason that he was drafted there.
I'm not even saying for you. I'm saying his entire career. I think he has a ceiling of top 10 player in the NBA.
I mean, I would have agreed with that 3 years ago, but I can't now.
There's so much motion behind the ocean that we have no idea about over there, like especially with college and politics and weird stuff like that. I know he didn't play that great when he got burned. I know he had issues off the court, but like I'm telling you, it's a talent. Like I figure out the other stuff. Like you can't really figure out how to be like he is tough. He's actually tough.
No, he definitely is. I just think that if you're a Cavs fan, I wouldn't be getting your expectations of him having a significant role.
Great.
And I think that's what's most important because I think a lot of Cavs fans are expecting him to be one of those first guys off the bench. And I don't know if that's just what I've been hearing on Twitter and stuff like that. But I think in order for him to be successful, he has to really work on, one, bulking up, two, getting more comfortable playing off the ball, because I was watching the first half of our summer league game, and a lot of times if he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's in the corner not moving, and I think he's going to have to really get good at catch and shoot but moving threes. I think that's what's going to be really important for us, because I know we want to run more of a fluid offense this season. That's what Kobe Altman was talking about today.
I don't ever remember saying he was going to make significant impact this year. That might have been slim.
Maybe. I'm not sure, but
I think my final comment on it is that's a great person to draft.
Yeah, if they took him at like 20, I would have been pissed.
I would have been jumping up and down. Dude, I want him at 21. Telling you. It's not like a this year thing. It's like a 7 years from now thing. That kid's an absolute dog.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he is. I hope he's really good. But I'm not ready to go to the level of what some people are speculating. Like, I saw a video about how he's going to be the best player in the draft, like all this stuff, like he was an absolute steal, which he could be a steal, no doubt. But I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it because we spent probably 6 minutes of this talking about it.
Well, it's an important topic, dude. I have some questions that I prepared for you, though.
Okay, let's hear them.
So there's two versions of this first question.
Okay.
Obviously, there's parameters within that you have to operate in free agency. So the first way I'll ask it is with none of them. The second way is realistic. Okay. Who's the perfect fit out of anybody in the league that would complete what Cleveland's building over there? Just in the sense of like, we both know they need one more piece. So firstly, who would be the ideal candidate, just so we can get a feel of the type of build you're looking for?
I don't think it's mathematically possible, with the cap, but
we're saying this is
okay. Yeah,
This
no
is
cap,
unrealistic, just so we can get a feel of the build of the player you're looking for.
Paul George.
So
I think that'd be perfect. If you want a more semi-realistic option, like a step down, I'd go DeAndre Hunter. If you want to step down from that, I go to like a Royce O'Neal.
Perfect.
I think that's like the 3 tiers. I mean, I don't think Paul George is mathematically possible, and even if we did,
especially with the new cap.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him just because of the assets we would have to give up. 2, he would only be here till his contract runs out, and I don't know. I think that's 2 years. I could be wrong, but I want to say it's 2 years because we wouldn't be able to pay him because Evan's going to get a supermax, and Donovan's already on one, and so is Garland. So,
would you trade Garland or Donovan for Paul George straight up?
No.
Just giving you a temperature check because I know you love Paul George.
I do love Paul George. He's definitely in my top 5 favorite players.
My third question is, do you still feel like Coach JB's got a great grip on the locker room?
Yeah, 1,000%. I think he was kind of forced to be. I mean, locker room, I know all the guys love him, and I think if something were like if he got fired, I think there'd be an outrage and half his team would be up in arms. But I know a lot of people like during the playoffs are complaining about coaching decisions.
That's why I'm asking.
I was one of those people that was not super happy, but after looking back on it now, a few months removed, he couldn't really do too many different things. He made good adjustments in late in game 1 and game 2. And then once the Knicks readjusted back to us, it was kind of what else could you really do? We had no floor spacing. And once they decided to just go and trap and hard help, there's nothing you can really do. If you're going to leave a guy to shoot wide open threes and he can't consistently make them at a 38% or better clip, you can't, like, there's not much you can do.
You can't blame a coach for game flow also. I only asked you that because I remember you were a little sour on him at the end of last year.
I wasn't really sour on JB. I was kind of just mad overall. I was more mad at the most person I was pissed off was Jared Allen for sure.
Well, yeah, you had to stick up your ass about JA, dude.
I mean, he was terrible.
Which is warranted. Yeah, it was warranted. I mean, a guy like that, I mean, when the lights are too bright, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy quote. But
we were talking about it the other day, weren't we?
Yeah. But,
no, man, lights were a little too bright for me.
But I think for next season.
That's me when I get up to the urinal. I got a nice line of dudes in the bar, and I can't get it out. Lights were a little too bright.
For next season specifically, I just want to touch on a little bit of my expectations for next season. I think free agency has been an A for me. I don't think there was really a move that we could have made I don't think there was a move otherwise that we could have done in order to, have a better move. I like the Strus signing. It's a little longer of a deal than I would have liked, but I like Niang. I think it just creates the ability to have a more dynamic offense, having a lot more movement. And I bet you'll see some kind of stuff like not what the Warriors run, but that style where it's flowing around constantly. Strus is always running around, all that kind of stuff. Because if you're the Cavs, you got too stagnant throughout the playoffs. And I know there's points in the game where that happens. And in order for like Darius and Donovan to really create and be like dynamic scorers like they are, there has to be movement on the other side. So they can't just ball watch and hard help, because then if you can't kick it out, what are you going to do? So that was just my biggest thing, as I wanted us to address the 3-point shooting and just get a more consistent basis. And it doesn't even have, like, if Isaac was still making, I think he made 35 or 6% last year, which isn't bad, but he started off horrible. But just the fact that you have to guard Strus or Niang out on the 3-point line. Like, you have to be there if you're a defender.
Yeah, you can't give him a no contest look.
Yeah, you have to be there. So I think that's something that we were kind of missing, because Jetty, you contest, but you don't have to fully go out there. Isaac, people were leaving him like they're on the box and he was in the corner. Like, that can't happen. That just screws everything. So I'm excited to see what that is. But what do you think we should personally do with like our offense next year? Because I think that's what really needs to be addressed. I think we might be slightly worse on defense next year, if any. Just because Strus and Niang aren't known defenders, but
I think when you got a team like that, you want to play to your strengths rather than trying to round out your weaknesses. So they are kind of trying to round out their weaknesses by adding the shooting and getting away from more isolation. But I feel like they just need to spread, play 5 out, 4 out, 1 in, get that guy to come high post, and keep moving the ball and keep moving bodies. That's why I don't know. I think Strus will be good with the Heat culture. He moves his feet. He runs around. Niang's kind of a camper.
But I think that's what we like.
Even you do only need one mover, one camper, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm saying like last year we had like Isaac wasn't a mover and he had a ton. Like he could have shot 8 threes a game if he wanted to.
Well, they weren't really They weren't like looking at him as a threat that much.
Fair, but there was definitely times where he took a semi-contested 3 that Niang or Strus is gonna shoot.
I think they should run. I think they should run more pick and roll stuff. Darius handling the ball, Evan screening.
Yeah, they did. They run a lot of. There are like 2 main things to me like that I always pick up on. They obviously do different stuff, but they run a lot of either high wing pick and rolls, or it's like a double screen where it's like one forward. It's like
and then stagger screen.
Yeah, and then Evan or Jay rolling. That's like the one kind of that's like their pick and roll, so to speak, unless it's like gets staggered.
But who's the primary ball handler most of the time?
Either one of DG or Donovan.
So I think that should be like not for isolation, but for those kind of set plays for creation and stuff. So that if there's a weird double and there's a weird switch, you can kick it to Donovan for isolation. I think those should be 70-30 Garland ball handling those pick and rolls.
I would say it's probably 60-40, right? Last season with Garland.
Well, then I think it should be around there because you kick it to Donovan off the double or off a weird switch, and then you can create something totally different off the first op.
Yeah, because, I mean, I also want them to do more with Evan being a playmaker. A lot of Cavs fans and coaches rave about his passing.
Put him on the short roll.
Yeah, I think putting him at, like, the high post, the free throw line, we see a lot of, like, this is the other kind of thing. It's a I can't think of the name. You'll probably remember it. But he's at the free throw line, and he throws a lob to Jared Allen in the short from the short corner. High-low. There it is.
There you go.
There we go. They run a lot of high-low between them two, and I think that would be good. Yeah. And I think in the future, now having the shooting out there, it eliminates just them being able to hard guard JA on the inside, and now they're going to have to kind of have a secondary help defender on the weak side kind of shift over to play that front side, and because the guy in the corner on the strong side is going to have to be heavily guarded now. Because, I mean, think about it. We have Darius, Donovan, Caris, Strus, and Niang. Those are all that's 5 guys that
you can go small ball in space.
Yeah, and then
but before we leave, I think that's a good segue talking about that lineup right there. You guys are going to have significant defensive issues.
No, we're not.
I don't know.
I mean, if you're thinking
I think Strus is a better defender than he's given credit for, but
I don't think Strus won't have to guard the best.
That's not what I mean. They're going to, that's what, then he'll just get switched on.
I know, I'm just saying, but we do a lot of different things where I'm not worried about defense just because no one thinks of Garland or Donovan as defenders, and they both played very fine on defense.
They have active hands.
Yeah. Evan Mobley is the best defensive player in the league. Changed my mind. And Jared Allen is as bad as he was at rebounding in the next series. He's a great defender. But I think that having that second line allows the guys on the perimeter to be more aggressive, and I think that's what you're going to see. And I think it'll allow Strus to get more up into guys, because as good as a defender as Bam is, he's not the shot blocker that Evan and Jay are down there. He's not that threat. Like, he's only 6'9", so I think that's going to really change life. I will get worried when Niang is in at the 4. I liked when K-Love was in at the 4.
He's just going to get bullied.
Yeah, but I mean, Joel Embiid was in there when Niang would be in there, or Paul Reed, and they weren't the biggest people ever. So I'm not really worried about that. I just think what worries me is when we have to play a Giannis, a Brook Lopez, or a Joel Embiid in the playoffs when they're posting up Jared Allen or Evan Mobley. I think that's what we have to worry about. I think for this season, I think in the future, Evan will be able to hold his own. I think he still could, but it's tough when someone's got 60 pounds on you.
He better be in the weight room, bro.
I think Evan's probably up to like 235. Like, he looks big, bro. He's 7'1", he's skinny. I mean, he was probably 210 coming out of college. But
he's got that weird Giannis frame that I think he could put a lot on.
That's like, there's guys that are very skinny. There's two types of skinny guys. There's the guys that can't put on like weight, but they can gain muscle, like a KD, who's like sneaky kind of strong, but like looks super skinny. I think Wemby's kind of like this now, where it's like the Evan, the Giannis build, where you can put on weight if you desire.
Yeah, I think he has a strong frame too.
Yeah, I think like going forward, they'll be able to put on weight. And so Giannis is obviously a monster now. I think Evan's going to eventually, in the 2 years, is going to be that kind of monster. I don't think he wants to be that big as Giannis, but I think it's something that's available. But
we'll touch on it later.
Yeah. Any final comments about the Cavs?
I think we touched everything up pretty good. I like the signing. I told you the 4-piece. You passed the 4-piece.
Yeah. If you're a Cavs fan, get excited for next season. I think we're going to I think last year, I guess like you could say they let us down, but I think this season's going to be something special. So keep tuned for next season. Obviously, we're going to do more of an updated video on this later in the offseason, so check back to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and peace.